We've already talked about sport games in the last video, but a sport in particular that I left out was racing. You see, unlike the other sports that exist in the world, racing was the most consistent in the video game industry. There's something satisfying about taking control of a vehicle and being a step ahead at maximum speed. Obviously, no one can't drive at full speed in the real world unless they're in a circuit. Well, that's where video games come in. And oh boy, sure, there are plenty of racing games. There are racing games with cartoony characters, ones with futuristic anti-gravity vehicles, and the ones that involve real-life cars. During the last 2 decades, racing games used to have their own legacy in the industry. Nowadays, they're not as popular as they used to be, with the exception of a few big hits like Mario Kart. So this month will be dedicated to the genre of vehicles, adrenaline, intense competition, but most importantly, speed. I'm the Big Bro, and these are my top 5 favorite racing games. Kirby Airride. The very first game I played in my GameCube. It's a little racing game where Kirby clones compete against each other. But here's a twist. You don't press the A button to accelerate. The ride itself accelerates on its own. The A button is to slide and boost. In other words, drifting. You can also press A to vacuum enemies and use their abilities against your rivals. There are only 3 main modes in this game: Air Ride, Top Ride, and City Trial. Air Ride is the basic racing mode where players compete in a set number of laps. Top Ride is the smaller racing mode with only 2 rides. It looks like a board for RC cars. And City Trial is a special mode where players must explore a large city and collect power-ups before the time expires. When time is up, you face each other in one of many competitions, such as Drag Race, Air Glider, Target Flight, or Destruction Derby, which is basically a battle royal. And that's pretty much it. The content of the game is very basic. There's not even a Grand Prix tournament. If you compare Kirby Air Ride with other racing games on the GameCube, you'll notice that the gameplay is way too simple and not that extreme. Very ironic, isn't it? It's really that easy to understand and have good time. What else can you expect from good old Kirby? Extreme G. It's not even physical, and I can still see the dust accumulated in this gem. It's a post-apocalyptic racing game where you ride futuristic bikes in a Grand Prix tournament. Extreme G takes place in the distant future where Earth is reduced into a wasteland. Yes, there's plot in this game. And now that the human race colonized a new planet, they play with remote-controlled bikes through their ancient cities to determine which racer is the winner. Yes, you heard that right. The bikes are actually RC toys. At the start of each race, you're given 3 nitro power-ups to provide a small speed boost, ideal after falling off cliffs or when driving in straight roads. You can pick weapons and items you see on the road to give you advantage, like homing missiles, landmines, shockwaves, and so on. This is basically F-Zero, but with Mario Kart items. It may look like your average retro racing game, but it was quite popular back then. It even got a few sequels. In the second one, the bikes are now real size with human pilots, but it's much easier to bump into the wall. The third one is decent enough, but also extremely difficult. And the fourth and last one, everyone has the same bland and colorless bike. Yeah, the series felt like a roller coaster until it went down the hill and became almost forgotten. Personally, I like the first one the most. Easy to understand, catchy music, balanced difficulty, unlockables, and the plot of the RC toys. Do you know what these two have in common? Both are keep getting additional content that is only available online by paying extra money, and both came out a decade ago. Mario Kart 8 was originally released on the Wii U. Deluxe is a port on the Switch. At first, it doesn't look any different from the original version, but there are a few details that make it outstand. Battle mode is now fixed. Inklings are newcomers. You can now carry 2 items at once, and all the downloadable content from the Wii U is now accessible in the base game. Zelda, Animal Crossing, F-Zero, and even the Mercedes-Benz vehicles. And also there's the DLC Booster Course Pass, which includes new playable characters, new racing suits for the Mii, and 48 additional courses, mostly ports from past Mario Karts. And to be honest, I don't really care much about this DLC, because I don't play much Nintendo now. The only reason I keep playing this game is because sometimes I get a little nostalgic. I really can't think of another racing game with a huge number of vehicles to choose from. The controls are well balanced compared to the past Mario Karts. The items still broken as hell, but it's still fun. This is literally one of the few Switch games that doesn't have a mediocre online signal. For the most part. To this day, I still play it with my family and friends. That is, until Mario Kart 9 comes out. Need for Speed Carbon. Alright, let's take a break from Go-Kart's Floating Stars RC toys and focus on good-looking cars. Need for Speed, it's a game series featuring real-life cars in illegal street racing. Carbon takes place a few years after the events of Most Wanted. The protagonist returns from Rockport to Palmont City after escaping from the cops during a race with the local gang leaders. But later, he gets pursued by Cross from the last game. And when everything seems lost, Darius helps the hero by paying off Cross. And now you have to repay Darius by participating in street races with the help of Nikki.
Nikki, what do you say you show your old friend the ropes?
You gotta be joking, right?
You got a better idea?
Damn. For a game with cars, Need for Speed has very deep stories. Anyway, your default car got destroyed while running away from Cross, and now you have to choose one of 3 cars to begin your career. Tuner, Muscle, and Exotic.
Hey, if there's 3, do I get one?
Exotic cars have the highest top speed with balanced handling. Muscle cars have the best acceleration but with low handling. And Tuner cars are the best at handling but low speed and acceleration. I'm choosing Tuner because it is much easier to control than the other 2. In Most Wanted, the main objective was to collect enough wanted bounty to face off a rival racer, while in Carbon is more like a turf war. And you get to race with the assistance of an ally with unique abilities. Some allies can help you tackling a rival car, finding shortcuts, or give you extra boost. And after completing all challenges in the rival territory, You must face off the leader of the gang in a race in the canyon. And oh boy, it's almost scary racing there, because the fences can be broken, making it easy to fall off the cliff. The majority of players point Most Wanted as the best Need for Speed game, and I respect that. But I prefer Carbon because I like the old-fashioned street racing, like the classic Fast and Furious movies. Besides, the whole game is set at nighttime, so your screen won't hurt your eyes that much. Unlike another game I know. CTR Crash Team Racing. I kinda envy the kids who grew up with this one. They didn't have to deal with blue shells or lightning. DreamWorks Superstar Karts. Wait, there was already a DreamWorks racing game before the 2023 version? Oh, but only features 3 movies. Oh well, still a good game anyways. F-Zero X. Basically Mario Kart without items or toxicity. You can never go wrong with this one. Freaky Flyers. A wacky cartoony game with weird levels and exaggerated stereotypes. If you try to do a stream with it, you'll probably get banned. Micro Machines. Overhead view racing game with the perspective of a little toy, which kinda makes it a bit creepy, especially with the big guy in the background. Pac-Man World Rally. Even if it doesn't have a vast selection of characters, this is still fun to play. Shrek, Smash and Crash Racing. Man, Shrek sure had good games back in the day. This one shows that you don't need cars to make a good racing game. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. For those who think Mario Kart is overrated. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. For those who think Mario Kart is overrated and want to play as Wreck-It Ralph. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. A whole racing game based on a 10-minute scene from a movie? Wow. Uniracers. There aren't many games where you play as a living unicycle. Also, this one reminds me of a certain short film. Diddy Kong Racing is a beloved classic racing game from the N64. Not only you can drive cars, but also fly with a plane and navigate with a hovercraft. And unlike in Mario Kart, the items are not randomly generated. Instead, they're divided in colored balloons. You don't have to worry about lightning or blue shells, although the items can be a bit overpowered. This game supports up to 4 players, but if you're on your own, you get to play Adventure Mode. Timber the tiger's parents go on holiday and leave their son in charge of the island they live on. But then the evil pig wizard Whizpig arrives at the island to take it over. Then Timber hires a team of 8 racers to face off Wizpig with the help of the elephant genie, Taj.
I'm here to help you.
Yep, Timber was going to be the original protagonist, but the devs needed a more popular character to attract the audience before Christmas sales, so they choose Diddy Kong instead. If it weren't for that decision, the game would be just as popular as Uniracers. In Adventure Mode, you can explore Timber's Island and enter one of the 5 gates of themed worlds, in exchange of the required number of golden balloons. When you beat all courses in a themed world, you can face the world boss. And when you beat the boss, well, just listen.
Well done, kid. Now try my new challenge. Collect all of my silver coins from around the dial domain. You must find 8 from each level and win, and then come back to see me.
What, I have to do it all over again? Ugh, okay.
Well done, kid. You've earned a piece of the amulet. Now try the trophy challenge.
What? No, thank you, but no thank you. All right, I've got all the pieces together. Time to face Wizpig.
See you later, worms.
Oh, time for revenge in space? Okay, but how do I get up there?
Trophy challenge.
Trophy challenge.
Trophy challenge. Trophy challenge.
Damn it. All right, I beat it all courses in space, so now it's time for the final battle. Oh, for the love of God! Finally, after hours of suffering, it's time to end this. And there you have it. Wizpig is defeated and everyone lived happily ever after. Yeah, that was fun. Okay, I admit it. The game is very repetitive, difficult, and unbalanced. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. Diddy Kong Racing comes from a time when the internet didn't exist. If you made a mistake during the game, you can't wait for patches to fix it. You have to sharpen your skills and try again. There were no microtransactions, no toxic communities, no DLC expansions. Just you, your friends, and the game. And this is why Diddy Kong Racing is my #1 favorite racing game of all time. Oh, and there is a remake on the DS, but is not as good as the original. So yeah, that's pretty much what you can do in single player. Oh wait, I'm missing a character here. I have to play time trials to unlock him. Huh? Son of a bitch!
Ha 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 ha